Hi class, and welcome to week 7 of HSA 6152. So this week we're covering the topic of health insurance. You'll be reading chapter 8. We'll be talking about the role of risk and uncertainty in insurance, as well as the basic elements of health insurance and the different types of plans and things of that nature. You also have a discussion board assignment that's due. You'll be viewing a TED Talk by a lady named Shireen Elfiki, and her TED Talk is titled How to Fight an Epidemic of Bad Laws. You will have all week to complete the assignment. Remember, your post should be at least 500 words, if not more, and you are responsible for responding to 2 of your peers with substantive responses that demonstrate that you've taken the time to read your peers' posts. All right, so let me go through this week's module. Here are the learning objectives, and then straight to the next page. Here you have your PowerPoint presentation that goes along with chapter 8. And here's some information from the chapter. This specific table just discusses the different characteristics of common HMO models. And this way you can see the different characteristics that they share. Below that is a table that illustrates how high deductible plans are increasingly more popular with employers and employees, and the reason behind that. Okay, so as you can see, it's increased from 2005 all the way through 2012. I think this is the last image that I have for this section in this week's module. But anyway, this one covers the topic of provider payment cost containment strategies. So the primary ones that are covered here is a discounted fee schedule, as well as capitation, and salary and bonuses, as well as withholds. Oh, there's another one. All right, so here is the service utilization control strategies, and this discusses the different strategies used to kind of monitor the level of utilization of the insurance. So you have many managed care plans that usually have this primary care provider that's also known as a gatekeeper, and they're responsible for providing primary care, referring patients for additional care, and generally coordinating the patient's care. You also have the utilization review, which uses the managed care organization personnel to review and approve or deny services requested by a provider. And then you have your case management that uses the MCO, the managed care organization personnel, to manage and coordinate patient care to make sure care is provided in the most cost-effective manner. And that pretty much covers it for this section. Make sure to take the time to read it, as well as go over the PowerPoint presentation, read the chapter, and then you also have your video lecture, which is right here. And as you probably noticed with previous weeks, I have done my best to keep them short. All right, so here's a few videos that coincide with the topics covered this week in chapter 8. So first is a video by Dr. Erin Carroll from Healthcare Triage, and it is titled, What is Health Insurance and Why Do You Need It? And then below that talks about the basics of health insurance, deductibles, premiums, definitions of them. And the last video talks about high deductible health plans, which was one of the images found in the information from the chapter section in this week's module. And it's a very short video discussing that type of plan. Now, you also, remember, you have your discussion board assignment for this week. And now I'm going to jump to the weekly checklist. Here's the weekly checklist. Make sure to read Chapter 8, review the chapter PowerPoints, video lecture, as well as the videos. And remember to complete your discussion board assignment. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. Take care. Bye.